So in this video, we'll discuss Article 23 and Article 24, which is available as right against exploitation. So that right against exploitation, as under Article 23, it prohibits traffic in human beings and forced labor. So the very provision of this article, as the scope of this article was as decided in the leading case Sanjit versus State of Maharashtra in 1983, so also in People's Union for Democratic Rights versus Union of India in 1982, the Supreme Court expressed the very article prohibits traffic in human beings, Begar, and other similar forms of forced labor. An exception is made for compulsory service for public purposes under Clause 2, although Clause 2 does not say so. Obviously, the imposition of such services to be by law as a mere executive order of the state would not sufficient for the purpose. It has been held that even if remuneration is paid for the labor, still if it is forced, then it is unconstitutional, as it was decided in these two important leading cases, Sanjit versus State of Rajasthan in 1983 and People's Union for Democratic Rights versus Union of India in 1982, why the Supreme Court, and also in another important leading case, Bisaljit versus Union of India in 1990, Supreme Court expressed that trafficking in human beings includes also the very rituals of Devadasi, which were prevailing in different temples, such as it is also we found in the form of Devadasi in the temples in India. And now we'll discuss some other provisions relating to this, where in that important leading case as relating to MC Mehta versus State of Tamil Nadu in 1997, so also in the leading case Bandhu Mukti Morcha versus Union of India in 1997, the Supreme Court has issued elaborate guidelines to child labor. Child labor shall not be engaged in hazardous employment. There shall be set up child labor rehabilitation welfare fund in which offending employer should deposit Rs 20,000. Adult member of such child should be given employment as it was decided by our Supreme Court. Further, the directions issued by the Supreme Court as to the education, health, and nutrition of child labor, as we found under these two important leading cases, that is MC Mehta versus State of Tamil Nadu in 1997, so also in the leading case Bandhu Mukti Morcha versus Union of India in 1997, by our Supreme Court. And now we'll go to another important leading case, that is Sila versus Children Aid Society, and it was a case of 1987 where it was the observation by the apex court in relation to random home and observation home. The special trained judicial officer should be appointed for juvenile courts as it was decided in this important leading case, Sila versus Children Aid Society in 1987 by our apex court. And now we'll go to the next important leading case, that is laborers working on Salal Hydro project versus state of Jammu Kashmir in 1984. The Supreme Court expressed that child below the age of 14 years cannot be allowed to be employed in hazardous employment. The prohibition of employment of children in constructive industry is not a bar, as it was also decided in the leading case, People's Union for Democratic Rights versus Union of India. And as relating to this leading case, laborers working in Salal Hydro project versus state of Jammu and Kashmir, it was expressed that child below the age of 14 years cannot be allowed to be employed in hazardous employment. And in regards to Bandhu Mukti Morcha case of 1997, Supreme Court give directions that to be implement constitutional mandates, and it needs speedy implementation as it was expressed by the apex court regarding prohibition of employment of children in factories and also in hazardous industries or hazardous employment, as regarding that the child must not be below the age of 14 years. So, not only they are prohibited to be employed in factories or mines or engaged in any other hazardous employment, as it was expressed in these important leading cases, and one of them we could discuss, that is Bandhu Mukti Morcha versus Union of India, and so also the laborers working on Salal Hydro project versus state of Jammu Kashmir. So, here Supreme Court prohibited any kind of employment of any child below the age of 14 years in any factory or mine or in any hazardous employment. So, this is all about Article 23 and 24 of the Constitution and of the fundamental rights, as in the form of right against exploitation, as we have discussed, as in the head traffic in human beings, beggar, forced labor, child labor, etc. So, in relation to that, we have also discussed some important leading cases like Sanjit versus State of Rajasthan, Bishaljit versus Union of India, People's Union for Democratic Rights, and Soul Show, MC Mehta versus State of Tamil Nadu, Sheila Versi versus Children Aid Society, and most important leading case, that is Bandhu Mukti Morcha versus Union of India, a case of 1997, Soul Show. Laborers working on Salal Hydro Project versus State of Jammu Kashmir in 1984. So, we have discussed in detail about the scope and application of the provisions that provided under Article 23 and 24 of the Fundamental Rights, which deals with right against exploitation. And in our upcoming video, we would like to discuss the next fundamental rights available in the form of freedom of religion. And in that context, we would analyze Article 25, 26, 27, and 28, which clearly provides the very freedoms of religion, and that we will discuss in our upcoming video.